If you clicked on this video, I assume that you're into clothing. We're not talking about clothes specifically today. We're more so talking about, as you can see in the title, tools that are going to help you keep your clothes in better shape for a longer period. This is obviously important. If you care about clothes, if you care about how you look, you care about your appearance, and you want to spend money on clothes that are going to last you the longest amount of time. Now, this isn't only about spending a lot of money on clothes because they're meant to last you a long time, and that's what the company is telling you. It's also about how you care for them. So we're gonna walk through 6 tools that I have found to help care for my clothing and make them last the longest amount of time and look fresh every time I wear them. All right, so let's jump in. First is an iron or a steamer. This is a pretty basic one, right? I think everybody probably has an iron or a steamer around and at their house. Now, the distinction between the two is an iron is a flat metal surface, so you can use this on less things than you can probably use a steamer on. You can pretty much steam everything, but an iron is what I choose to use personally because I usually use it on my woven shirts. If I'm dressing up, if I'm wearing a tie with my woven shirt or whatever it may be, then I'm going to be ironing it. You can also iron suits, you can iron pants, chinos, trousers, a lot of different things. And so an iron is my weapon of choice. Obviously, along with this comes an ironing board, but that's pretty much a given. If you have an iron, you probably have an ironing board. So it's going to take the wrinkles out. I'm sure you know it's going to help remove the wrinkles, flatten everything out, make it look brand new and fresh, and iron out any creases or anything that may happen when you get new clothes when they're folded or when you pull them out of the dryer. Or the washer. And yeah, pretty simple. Next one is a lint roller. So this is a lint roller that I have on hand. This is a terrible lint roller personally, but there is a lot of different brands that sell lint rollers. I mean, you can get them from pretty much anywhere. There's also reusable ones. I do have one of those, but it doesn't work well on a lot of my clothes. I use it more for like cloth couches, chairs, anything of that nature. But a lint roller does exactly what you think it does. And I'm sure, like I said, I'm sure everybody has used this as well. This is going to help get hair, little pieces of lint, fuzz off of your clothing. So I have 2 cats, and if you have animals, especially if they're, heavier shedding animals, I'm sure that you probably own one of these, especially if you wear black. I mean, I used to lint roll pretty much all my clothes because I wore a lot of black every time I wore them, just because it was bound to have hair all over it. So every time when I put it on, I'd always lint roll, go out the house. I keep one of these in my car. I keep one of these at the office with me. I keep one right here on the desk. I have these sort of strategically spread out in different parts of my life where I'm gonna need a quick freshen up, get the little pieces of lint off, whatever it may be. So that's a lint roller. I'm sure you have one on you right now. Let's go to the third thing. All right, the third thing is a Tide to-go stick or any type of stain removing stick. I keep this in my backpack at all times. It's saved me quite a few times. If I'm at work, I'm eating lunch, I get something on my shirt, a white shirt, a blue shirt, whatever it may be, you pull this thing out, shake it up, push it down, and apply it to the stain and sort of press it in, rub it in, whatever it may be, and it's going to help lift that stain a lot easier than trying to rub it out with water, any type of soap, whatever it may be. This is detergent on the go, and this is also a good thing to have because sometimes other people get stains and they're a little bit worried about it. So you can be that person that comes in and saves someone's day when they get spaghetti stain or whatever on their white shirt, and you can say, wait, I got you covered. Don't even worry. I got my Tide to-go stick on lock. So that is number 3. Let's move on to number 4. Number 4, I don't have it here with me, obviously, but I do own one, is a drying rack. So I mentioned earlier, I think during iron steamer, taking your shirts out of the dryer. I don't really dry anything, at least that I care for and that I care to keep fresh, because drying clothes, frankly, isn't great for them. Air drying them is the best method, and getting a dryer rack and using that on all your nice, your delicate clothing is going to be the best way to go. Now, I bought one from IKEA. You can get them from, I'm sure, anywhere. The one that I got, I think, was $20-25, and essentially what you do is wash your clothes in the washer as normal, or hand wash, whatever that garment calls for, and then fold them over the drying rack and let them air dry. As I said, I do this for all of my nice clothing, things that I care for. So woven shirts, trousers, chinos, polos, things like that you don't want to throw in the dryer, especially if they're cotton. You want to air dry. You never want to put it in the dryer. Now, I'll throw sweatpants, athletic shorts, stuff that I work out in, undergarments, socks, underwear, wife beaters, things like that, towels. I'll throw all that into the washer and into the dryer, just because I don't really care for it as much, and I'm not trying to keep it as nice. I'm going to wear the crap out of that stuff, and I'm going to be sweating in it and whatever anyway, so it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. But I mean, if you do want to get a nice big drying rack and dry everything on the drying rack, be my guest. It's really important to keep your clothes nice, to air dry them. It's just going to help make them last even longer. And the worst thing that you want to do, that you can do for your clothing, is dry them with heat. Don't use heat. Don't use heat. Maybe on towels. maybe on socks, maybe on underwear, things like that that are more replaceable. But on your nice clothes, if you use heat, you're just gonna ruin them. So, yo, real quick, if you hadn't subscribed to the channel, head on down. You know what I'm saying? That's number 4. Let's move on to number 5, which sort of goes in tandem with a drying rack. It's in the cleaning process, the washing process of your clothes, and that is a delicates wash bag, a delicates garment bag. So when I wash any of my delicates, I put it in this delicates wash bag. This is something that I actually wasn't even aware of until within the last couple of years, which I'm very surprised about. But essentially, this is just a polyester mesh bag that you put your delicate clothing into before you put it into the washer, and it's going to help protect it in the washer. It's still going to allow soap to seep in there. It's still going to allow for agitation, but it's going to protect the garments in a way that just having them be exposed inside of the washer isn't going to. Now, the reason that I actually bought this is because the current apartment that I live in that came with a washer. The washer leaves marks on some of my stuff, and it's unfortunate, but the way that I found to counterbalance that is to put the nice stuff into a delicate wash bag. And now essentially I put everything that I somewhat care for, trousers, button down shirts, my Uniqlo Air Sense suit, my garments that I wear to work every day and that I want to look presentable, I'll put them in a delicates wash bag 100% of the time now. I bought 2 large ones. I got them from Amazon. They were cheap, probably less than $20, and you can find them for even cheaper. This is going to help, again, expand your lifespan of your garments, keep them safe in washing, and when you pair it with a drying rack, it's going to make washing your clothes a lot better and keep more life in them. Now that's 5. We're going to get to the 6th and final one, which is one that I never even heard of until, about within the last year. And it actually surprised me, and it actually makes total sense to me. And that is a fabric shaver. Now, if you are a big sweater person, I'm not a huge sweater person, but I do own a couple of wool sweaters, then you need to get yourself one of these if you don't have one already. Because essentially what happens with sweaters, as I'm sure you know, if you wear sweaters, is you start to get pilling on them. This I noticed most. I bought a sweater, a cardigan, wool cardigan from Uniqlo when I was in Europe, and just stuffing it in the suitcase while we were traveling around in different countries, I realized that it was starting to pill up a lot in the areas that were exposed. And it happened really quickly. And if you wear stuff pretty often, if you wear wool garments pretty often, you're going to start to see pilling more and more. And usually with natural fibers, these pills are going to fall off, but this is just going to help you remove those pills a lot quicker and keep your garments looking nice. And the good thing about it also is you may be thinking, is it going to, put a hole in my nice wool sweater? No, it won't, because of this guard that it has in the front. And there's multiple different ones. This is from Magic Tech. Again, got it off Amazon. It was $25, whatever. Rechargeable, and it's going to help you keep your sweaters looking nice. So if you start to get pilling in certain areas, for example, I sort of get it on the front where it's rubbing on stuff. I get it on my sleeves if I'm setting it down, or in between where your arms are rubbing to the body, side seams. There's a lot of areas that can start to get pilled up. Just take this fabric shaver, turn it on, go to work at those areas that you're getting pilling. It's going to collect all the lint in here, and then when it dies, you just simply recharge it with this one's a whatever micro USB. This is a great tool to add your repertoire if you're a big sweater person. Now you can use this on polyester garments as well. Polyester garments, the pills on polyester garments aren't going to sort of fall off as easy because it's a filament fiber and they're more bound to sticking to each other and not just falling off naturally. But you can use it to remove lint and different things like that on polyester sweaters. For example, I've used it on an acrylic sweater that I have, and it's worked pretty well. So again, those are 6 tools to extend the lifespan of your clothing. Like I said, if you care for your clothes, if you care about your appearance, and you have to care for how you're caring about your clothing, it's going to make them last even longer. I'm sure there's more tools out there. If there is, I'd actually love to hear about those in the comments down below. I'm always looking to expand my knowledge in clothing and caring for my clothing. So leave a comment down below. And if you haven't heard of one of these, first time that you've heard about it, or if you have tried maybe some of these and they haven't worked out, I don't know, I'd love to hear your experience in the comment section down below. On top of that, if you enjoyed the video, please make sure to subscribe to the channel as well as drop a like. That's all I have for y'all this week, and I will see y'all again soon. Peace.